Buying your first home in Lancaster County is actually super stressful. And that's really just because nobody knows the process to do so. You don't go to class at school and get taught how to buy your first house in Lancaster County. But what I want to do today is talk to you through the step-by-step process in buying your first home in Lancaster County. From talking to the lender to getting the keys, what it looks like to actually go and start looking for and purchase that dream home that you can call your own. My goal is that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect. So let's just get right into it. Step 1, meet with a realtor. Talking with an agent early on in the process is going to help you avoid a ton of mistakes and even heartbreak. That agent's going to know the things that you're looking for, what's on the market, what's possible for you. And if they're a good agent, they're also going to have connections in the off-market world and find you properties before maybe they even hit the market. When you leave that appointment with your agent, you should be set up on a search portal that is personalized to your search criteria so that in your email every day you're receiving homes that fit what you're looking for and you could be the first to get into that home. Setting expectations up front is so important, and it's really easy to do with a great realtor. And every great realtor is going to have a great lending partner, and that is going to take us right into step 2, which is get pre-approved. You can use any lender you want, but just know most realtors have somebody that they recommend because they've worked with them before. They know how that lender works, they know how they communicate, and they know they're going to get you to the closing table. Most people are super afraid to talk to a lender when they buy their first house. It's like the biggest step, it's the most important step, and it is like the last step anybody ever wants to take. Just know a couple things that lenders are going to be looking for is your income. They're going to look at your credit score. They're going to take a look at what assets do you have, how much money do you actually have in the bank to purchase a home. When they take all that into account, they're going to give you your interest rate, your monthly payment, and then finally, they're going to issue you a pre-approval letter that you can take and start hunting for homes. And this, like I said, stresses a lot of people out, but it's a really easy process. Most people allow you to start it online. They might call you and ask a couple questions, and it usually takes like a day or two. And the reason it's so important to do up front is if you start looking at homes and you find one you absolutely love, and offers are due that day, you might not have time to turn around and actually get pre-approved for that home. And that's going to bring us to step 3, which is to actually start house hunting. So you've talked to a realtor, you've let them know some of the things you want. That realtor hooks you up with a great lender. You've gotten pre-approved. You're shopping inside of your price point. Now what you got to do is start looking at houses and finding what you like and what you don't like. A lot of times it's hard to understand the difference between 1,500 square feet and 2,000 square feet. But let me tell you this, when you're in a 1,500 square foot home and then you step into a 2,000 square foot home, you'll be able to tell the difference. So you need to start narrowing down that search. While you're looking at homes, you're narrowing down what priorities you have. What are the things that you cannot do without? And what are the things that are like, if I have it, I'm happy. If I don't, whatever. But this is your first home. You gotta be really clear not to chase perfection. I always tell people your first home funds your dream home. If you're buying your first home thinking that you're getting the house that you're gonna live in forever, 1, my life kind of stinks as a realtor because I can't ever sell you another house. And then 2, you are gonna be surely upset because it's just tough to buy your dream home first, especially in this housing market. And during this process, you've gotta be prepared to move quickly. If that house that you fall in love with is right, you need to be ready to make an offer, which is going to take us straight into step 4, which is make an offer. The things we're going to talk about is what offer price is going to make this a competitive offer. What are other houses going for in the area? And what is going to make the seller think that you have a shot to purchase their home? How much are you going to offer for the earnest money deposit? What's the closing date? Is it 30 days, 45 days? Does the seller have a scenario where they need you to purchase the home and allow them to rent it back for 2 months? What are your contingencies that you're looking for? Do you have inspections that you want? Is there anything in particular that you want about the offer? All this will be discussed while you're actually discussing the offer and finalizing it to sign it and send it over to the seller. And then it's just all negotiation, which a great realtor should get excited to do. I pride myself in being a tough negotiator. It's what excites me about the deal, right? And I think that it is one of the most overlooked things in real estate. If you're interviewing a realtor, you should ask them how they negotiate, how tough they can be, and try to grill them a little bit to figure out if they can negotiate on their own behalf for you. So you made an offer, you've got all the terms laid out, you've signed it, you've sent it over. That's going to take us to step 5, which is the seller accepts the offer. Unfortunately, this is where most buyers think that they're done. The offer's accepted, you're getting the keys, and this is where the process is really just starting for you as the buyer. If in your offer you elected to get inspections, that's going to take us to step 6, which is do the inspections. Some of the different inspections that you can elect would be a whole home inspection, where they're going to look at the home from top to bottom, get up on the roof, check the electrical outlets, make sure that everything is working properly. A wood destroying insect inspection, a WDI inspection, or a pest inspection, whatever you want to call it. They're going to look for pests that destroy the wood that is the structure of the home. You can get a radon inspection, which is a natural gas that is emitted from the ground and is a leading cause of cancer. And that radon inspection is going to take a look at what the radon levels are, and if they are dangerously high, they're going to recommend that you get a mitigation system installed in the home, which is not crazy expensive, but it is something that most people would want to know before they purchase the home. Or maybe you're purchasing a home that has a septic tank and you need to get a septic inspection done because you do not have public sewer. What that's going to do is take a look at the integrity of the tank. Can it handle the flow? Is it functioning properly? Because a septic tank is one of the more scary repairs you'd have to make as a homeowner. Most that I see are going to be anywhere around $30,000 to start. So having a septic inspection done, if you have a septic tank, is pretty vital. And then it's back to negotiations. If issues are found that need to be addressed, we would negotiate with the seller to get the work done that you want, either asking for the repairs, asking a credit to be made to you as the buyer, which is going to lower your closing costs, leaving you more money to go and make those repairs on your own, or asking for a price reduction on the home. Now, I don't always recommend a price reduction on the home because you don't see that gain right away. Where you see it would be the upfront money in the closing costs. So asking for a seller credit is where I see the most benefit in negotiating repairs, or just asking for the repair to actually be done by the seller in their own bank account. Inspections, as it stands on the agreement of sale, are to be done within 10 days. You have 5 days to negotiate, and then you as the buyer have 2 days if you don't have a response to decide if you're going to move forward with the property or not. I like to get things done really soon, so we never really hit that time mark, but we try to get it all done within maybe a week. And then that brings us to step 7, the longest part for the buyer, probably the 30 to 45 day process of mortgage processing. This is where your mortgage lender is going to do underwriting on you to make sure the information that they've received is correct. You're going to have an appraisal done on the property to make sure that the bank can loan you the amount that you are receiving for the loan amount on the home. And they're going to request a ton of documents from you. If you're W-2, they're going to want W-2s, they're going to want pay stubs. Your lender is going to ask to know everything financially about you so that they can help you purchase your first home in Lancaster County. This is where most buyers get really nervous. If somebody asks for a question, it seems personal. It is so normal. They have to do it because they are loaning you a ton of money and want to make sure that they get their money back on the loan. But the good thing is, as you get closer to the end of that, it's all done and you're clear to close, which takes us to step 8, getting back into the home for the final walkthrough. The final walkthrough, if possible, I like to do the morning of settlement or right before settlement if it's in the afternoon, but not really longer than 24 hours before settlement. At the final walkthrough, we're verifying if the repairs we agreed to do are finished and that the home has not changed condition from when you originally made an offer to purchase it. So a couple things we do is check the windows, make sure as they were moving the bed out, they didn't bash a window out. Simple things like that, making sure the appliances that were agreed to stay are actually still in the home. All these things are done through the final walkthrough, and then we agree or negotiate something if there was work that needs to be done, which I'll say, 9 times out of 10, probably even more than that, but I don't want to say 100%. There's not really a lot of times that there's more work still to be done. A lot of times buyers accept the property in the present condition because the sellers do the things they're supposed to do, especially if the selling agent is a good agent. They make sure that the work is done if there's something that sellers need to do. And then finally, step 9, closing day. I always tell people to expect 30 minutes to an hour for the actual settlement to take place. You're going to be signing a bunch of documents. You're signing literally your life away for the next 30 years. Once all the paperwork's signed, you'll be handed the keys. The property will be funded by the title and lending company. And then congratulations, you're now a first-time home buyer on your first home here in Lancaster County. So now the real fun begins of figuring out what do you actually do to maintain a home. So to quickly recap, you're going to talk with a realtor. You're going to get pre-approved. You're going to start house hunting. You're going to make an offer. It may or may not be accepted. If it's accepted and you have inspections, you're going to start inspections. And then you're going to start the loan underwriting process, get the appraisal, a lot of documentation. All that stuff is ran by your lender. Then you're going to have your final walkthrough. And then finally, you're going to have the keys to your own home. If you're thinking about buying your first home in Lancaster County, I'd be super honored to help you with that process. What I can tell you, the easiest way to get a hold of me is to text me at 717-799-8374. I always tell my first-time homebuyers, no question is a dumb question. I'd rather you ask me than Google something and get the wrong answer. Or if you have a question, feel free to leave it in the comments, and please like and subscribe and get ready for the next video on buying your first home in Lancaster County.